Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Kansas City. It is beautiful, summer-like, 88 degrees. I'm Al Michaels. Dry conditions, just perfect, full house looking on, and here we go again. The Yankees and the Kansas City Royals meeting in the playoffs for the 4th time in 5 years. First off, let's set the schedule for you. Game 1 today, Game 2 tomorrow night here. No day off, as is the case in the National League. Game 3 will go to New York, Yankee Stadium, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday. If a 4th game is necessary, Yankee Stadium, Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern. If a 5th game is necessary, we'll wrap it up on Sunday at 4 o'clock from New York. It has been immensely frustrating, of course, in the 3 years the Yankees and the Royals have met in the playoffs for the Kansas City Royals. The Yankees have won all 3 series, the first 2 in very dramatic fashion. We'll go back and you'll all recall 1976, the way it ended. Game 5, score tied, 9th inning, Chris Chambliss driving one over the right field wall at Yankee Stadium. And the toughest accomplishment for Chambliss from that point on was getting to home plate. Yankees win it in 5, go on to lose in 4 to Cincinnati in the World Series. Following year, it went to 5. The 5th game was here. The Royals had blown a 9th inning lead, and Freddie Patek ended it by grounding into that double play, started by Greg Nettles. Yankees win it again, go on to take the World Series in 6 over the Dodgers. Freddie Patek in that classic shot, summing up the Royals' frustration. The following year, the Yankees did it again, and this time they made it in 4. Goose Gossage looking in for the sign, ready to end it. Pete Lecoq, the batter for Kansas City. Easy fly ball to left field. Gary Thomason right there to put it away. The Yankees win it in 4, go on again to beat the Dodgers in the World Series. So can the Royals do it in 1980? We'll find out. In just a moment, a player-by-player team comparison with Billy Martin and Jim Palmer when we come back to Kansas City.
Sony introduces the art of watching television. The Sony Betamax lets you record and see what you want when you want, to summon into your home a world of wonder. And a remarkable feature called Beta Scan lets you scan forward and reverse to quickly find any single image. Betamax transforms the act of watching television into the art of watching television.
Your show is about to begin.
Sony, the one and only.
I'm Frank Schroeder. If you're like me, this is the only kind of running you want to do on a business trip. That's why you should stay at a Hilton, because Hilton can put you within walking distance of almost every business, financial, and entertainment center in the country.
Good morning, Mr. Shorter. Good morning, Mr. Shorter.
So when it's time to get down to business, why run when you can walk?
There's no place like Hilton.
We are delighted to have working with us throughout the course of the American League Championship Series, Billy Martin, who's traded his Oakland gold jersey for the ABC Gold Blazer. Billy, great to have you with us, a man who should be Manager of the Year. And let's begin with a position-by-position comparison of these two teams. Starting in the infield, we go to first base. The Yankees going with Bob Watson, Willie Aikens for KC.
Well, I give the edge to the Yankees. I think Watson can hit both left-handed and right-handed pitches better than Aikens can hit left-handers, so the edge goes to the Yankees.
All right, now it's second base, Willie Randolph and Frank White.
Both tremendous second basemen, both very good on double play, both have great range, but Willie Randolph is, I think, a little better second baseman. I give the edge to the Yankees.
So another edge to New York. At shortstop, you've got Bucky Dent and young UL Washington.
Well, Al, this is a standoff. I think they're both real good players. Bucky is consistent and does a lot of things out there. UL has got speed, so I have to say this is a push.
Now, at third base, Aurelio Rodriguez today, Greg Nettles tomorrow against George Brett.
Well, this position really goes to the Yankees. Both Aurelio and both Greg, they're both tremendous third basemen. Probably the 2 better third basemen you're going to see in baseball. George is a great hitter, but he can't field these 2 guys.
Another platoon situation for New York in left field, Lou Piniella and Bobby Mercer. Willie Wilson every day for KC.
Well, I think Wilson gets the edge here because he can play this turf out here, plus his speed, and I think he moves around a little bit than those other 2 do.
Good contrast in center. The rookie, Bobby Brown, the veteran, Amos Otis.
Well, Brown's got the speed, but Otis is the better outfielder, so I have to give Otis the edge.
Now in right field, of course, for New York, Reggie Jackson. You've got John Wathan platooning with Clint Hurdle.
Well, Al, as you know, Reggie has trouble in this type of turf, and so I have to give the edge in Kansas City to Wathan.
So overall, infield and outfield now.
Kansas City in the outfield and the Yankees in the infield.
Let's take a look at the fellas back of the plate. You've got Rick Cerrone from New York. Darrell Porter, a left-handed hitter, starts today against a left-handed pitcher.
Darrell's a tremendous competitor, really aggressive player, but I have to give the edge to Cerrone, who also is very aggressive and a hard-nosed type of player.
Take a look at the DHs now. Eric Soderholm faces lefties, Oscar Gamble righties, Hal McRae for KC.
I have to give McRae the edge because he's a better all-around hitter, although the power goes to the Yankees in the DH department.
Some good individual matchups. Also working with us, a veteran of this booth, having helped discover the 1978 Championship Series, Jim Palmer of the Baltimore Orioles, a man who's won 3 Cy Young Awards and a man who's been a 20-game winner 8 different times. Jim, obviously in a short series, pitching is so important. How do you size it up, the Yankees and the Royals, the two staffs?
Well, I would give the edge to the Yankees, and the reason for this, of course, is that the Kansas City staff has 4 excellent starters, but they've had a lot of injury problems and confidence problems. Gurra's lost his last 5 starts. Splittorf's been bothered with back spasms all year. Gale's had shoulder problems. The Yankees, Guidry's got his problems solved, apparently. Tommy John has a slight spasm in the back, but seems to be able to pitch. And Rudy May was the earned run average leader in the American League. I would definitely give the edge to the Yankees.
Now, a lot of people seem to think it'll get down to a bullpen comparison. You've got 2 great ones, Quisenberry for the Royals, Gossage for New York.
Well, it's really a standoff in the bullpen, I would say, because Gossage had an outstanding year. Obviously, the more dynamic of the 2. Strikes guys out. Quisenberry, 33 saves, 12 wins, has really been the guy that got the Royals where they are. But the Yankees have a little bit more depth. They have a guy named Ron Davis, won 14 games last year, 9 this year, had 7 saves. So I give the edge to the Yankees in the bullpen, too.
So they're the remarks of Billy Martin and Jim Palmer, the comparison individually and as far as the pitching is concerned. In just a moment, we'll be back to visit with Reggie Jackson and George Brett.
The fun side of John Newcomb. That's what I was shooting for. That's why I was shooting with my Canon AE1.
Ready?
Look at those numbers. Could that man win the MVP? Of course he can. 300 batting average. He's never done that before. 41 homers, 111 RBIs. Reggie Jackson of the New York Yankees. I talked with him yesterday. Reggie, as the series opens, the mood of the Yankees, the spirit of the team, the feeling around the Yankee clubhouse.
I think we're confident right now. I think we know what we have to do. I think we're here to work. The fact that we were in a dogfight the last 6-7 weeks of the season with a great ball club that won 100 ball games. I think that our intensity level is up and we don't have to turn anything back on. Everyone's swinging the bat well. The pitchers are throwing the ball well. Goose is super. And the atmosphere is great. We're ready to play baseball.
You've had Kansas City's number, 76, 77, 78. Does that matter at all in 80?
It doesn't to me. They have 3 obviously new players on a ball club. They have Dan Quisenberry with 33 saves. They have Willie Wilson, who's a walking double, 220 some hits and 79 stolen bases and only caught 7 or 8 times. And of course George Brett was then just a 320 hitter. He's now a 390 hitter. So I think that these 3 people give them a different look. I don't think we can try or think about hoping the 76 and 77 and 78 Yankees beat the Kansas City Royals. I think the 80 Yankees have to beat them, and if they win a ball game tomorrow, all that thing about we can't win, we can't beat them goes out the drain.
You know, the old theory, short series, it comes down to pitching. Is that the key, or is it speed, or is it something else, or a combination of factors?
We've got good pitching, and of course we've got Rich Gossage. I think that gives us a decided advantage in the pitching area. I think that our key, or if there is a key, the key to me really is to win 3 games before they do. But if you're looking for an area of weakness, or if you're looking for an area that they can exploit, that would be our ball club defensively in the outfield being on AstroTurf. We're not a good AstroTurf club defensively. We have spent a lot of time in our scouting area talking about how to play them defensively in the outfield. And when they leave home plate, they're singles, they're thinking double. With their doubles, they're thinking triples. And of course, with Willie Wilson, he can hit a ground ball and turn it into a home run. So this is where we have to concentrate, and this is where we could be lacking, or we could help turn the series around.
Very briefly, were you ever worried there in late August when Baltimore had closed to the top?
Worried? Maybe not, but I was very, very, very concerned.
Reggie Jackson, possible MVP. But what about George Brett? He could win it too. 390, 24 homers. He had 118 RBIs, and he missed a lot of action. I spoke with George yesterday here in Kansas City. George, as the series commences now, if you could sum up the feeling of the Kansas City Royals, a team that's lost 3 times to the Yankees last year, not even in the playoffs, now a brand new year, 1980, the feeling of the team going in.
Well, I think right now we're very confident. The one thing I don't want to do, and I think the rest of my teammates don't want to do, is remember 1976, 77, and 78, the 3 years we lost to the Yankees. This is a new year. I think we're a lot better team than we were then. And if we can go out and play the Yankees like we did during the regular season when we beat them 8 out of 12 times, I think we'll be very, very happy.
Is this a better club than the clubs of 76, 77, and 78?
Well, I think it is, yes. I've gotten better, I think. I've gotten older. I've gained more experience, and I'm more mature. Willie Wilson wasn't an everyday ball player in those years, and now Willie's one of the best players in the league. He's a bona fide superstar, in my opinion. Frank White has gotten better. Ewell Washington's played a great shortstop for us. Willie Aikens had a very offensive, productive season. Darryl Porter's had an off year for what he did last year, but he's been swinging the bat real good lately, and hopefully he can continue to do so. Hal McRae has gotten a little bit better, and I think he's going to be a big asset to the Royals in the playoffs. But I think the big key is the bullpen. We have Dan Quisenberry out there, who was the fireman of the year, and Dan's not a strikeout pitcher, but he knows what to do when he comes in a game. He usually gets a ground ball, we turn a double play, and that's the ball game, and hopefully he can be effective in the playoffs against the Yankees.
All right, you think Quisenberry is perhaps your key. What about the Yankees? Do you think Gossage might be the key there?
Well, if the games go to the 7th inning and they're still close, both of those players are going to be keys. Gossage for the Yankees, Quisenberry for the Royals. I think whoever does the best job probably has a good chance to win it, but hopefully we'll be so far ahead in runs, 6-1, 7-1, that Gossage can come in there and strike out 6 out of 9 guys, and it won't matter. I know we've had trouble with Gossage throughout the past. We've also had a lot of trouble with Sparky Lyle. Sparky's no longer with the Yankees, and I think if Goose can go 5 games, I think if he appears in 5 games, I think we'll have a better chance to get to him maybe in the 3rd or 4th game than we would in the 1st or 2nd.
Briefly, George, compare the Yankees, the teams you faced, 76, 77, 78, with this team, a lot of new faces.
Well, there are a lot of new faces. I look back to 76, 77, and 78, and I really felt the guys that beat us were Thurman Munson, who hit the home run in Game 3, I think it was, back in New York in 78. Chris Chambliss, of course, who hit the home run in 76 in the 5th game in the bottom of the 9th to win it for the Yankees. Mickey Rivers, who was always on base and doing a great job, and Roy White had a couple key hits and key situations for him. Those 4 guys are no longer there, and I really think that's going to help us mentally going into this thing. Those are the 4 guys that hurt us, and not only my opinion, but a lot of guys' opinions. They are a good ball club. We know if we don't play good baseball, we're not going to beat them. But just the fact of having the 4 guys out of the lineup or no longer in a Yankee uniform, 1980, I think is going to be a big plus for us.
All right, we've heard from Jackson and Brett, and there's your pitching matchup today. 2 left-handers, Ron Guidry for the Yanks, Larry Gurr for the Royals. We'll be right back.
Panasonic calls this VHS recorder Omnivision. I call it Reggie Vision because it tapes 6 hours of me off the air, even when I'm on the road. It also has stop action. And when I don't like what's on TV, I make my own with my Panasonic sound camera. And then there's always something great on TV.
Panasonic 6-hour Omnivision.
Reggie Vision.
Omnivision.
I've been thinking about the market lately.
My broker says now's a good time to look into tax-free income. What'd your broker say?
Well, my broker's E.F. Hutton, and E.F. Hutton says...
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Here's to good friends. Tonight
hey, Phil, I thought you were taking us to dinner.
I am. Okay, where is it? You're standing on it. What?
Hey, a clam bake.
I suppose he got Lowenbrow, too.
Yep.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Phil, that was fantastic.
Hey, I only take my friends to the best places.
Kansas City today, Ron Guidry on the mound for the New York Yankees, a 25-game winner 2 years ago, and on the mound for Kansas City, former Yankee Larry Gura. We'll be back with Game 1 of the American League Championship Series after this word from our local stations, the Yankees and the Royals.
Sunday on those amazing animals. Learn about the whale's tragic graveyard, a chimp who makes house calls, and the meanest bucking broncos. Then, hear the stories of the people who survived the eye of Hurricane Camille and a real-life towering inferno, catastrophe. Then, they're the wildest truckers on the road.
You must be out of your mind.
Ali McGraw and Chris Christopherson leading an army of cops on a cross-country chase.
Sunday, starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain on ABC.
The Yankees won 22 World Series. No other teams come close. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. No other teams come close. American Airlines has been the #1 choice for domestic travel in 3 straight surveys of frequent flyers. No other airlines won even once. The main reason we won, service, and the American team that delivers it.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
Now there's a men's cologne by American designer Ralph Lauren that captures the feeling of the West. A cologne a man could put on as naturally as a worn leather jacket or a pair of jeans. Chaps, the men's cologne by Ralph Lauren. Chaps, it's the West you feel inside of yourself.
He's got no time to lose, 'cause he's on the move. The thoughtful man takes command. His every action, his every move. He's so suave and so smooth. The thoughtful man takes command. A born leader who wins, finishes what he begins. Success comes to him. The thoughtful man takes command. The thoughtful man takes command. The thoughtful man.
Survivors of the City tonight at 6.
ABC Sports presents the 1980 American League Championship Series. For the 4th time in 5 years, the Kansas City Royals taking on the New York Yankees. Yankees clinching the East on Saturday. Reggie Jackson provided the key blow in a game against Detroit with his 41st home run. And appropriately, Rich Gossett put it away with his 33rd save. Kansas City in a cakewalk in the West, led by George Brett, who wound up hitting .390. And the sensational left fielder Willie Wilson led the league in runs and hits. Today, Game 1. ABC Sports brings you Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. The Kansas City Royals hosting the New York Yankees live from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Pepsi-Cola and your local Pepsi-Cola bottler who invites you to catch that Pepsi spirit. And by Allstate Insurance Companies. You're in good hands with Allstate. Just gorgeous. 88 degrees, the official temperature right now in Kansas City. We're looking forward to a terrific series. Al Michaels with you. Billy Martin joining us for the playoffs this year. Billy, first of all, the Yankees and the Royals, we heard you compare them player by player. Now, as far as the teams are concerned, who are you picking?
Well, I think I'll give the edge to the Yankees, Al. I think that they have just a little bit more in everything.
How many games?
Well, I think maybe 4.
So you don't think it'll go to Sunday. Let me ask you this. The Royals won it easily, coasted in the Western Division. The Yankees had to struggle in the Eastern Division. Is that a factor at all?
I think so. I don't think you can turn on wins and just that easy overnight. I think they had a very bad month in September. The Royals did, and I think the Yankees finished sharp. So We'll just see what happens right now, but as far as I'm concerned, if Guidry is sharp out there, that's the answer.
You see a lot of runs in this series?
Well, that Kansas City Ball Club can score a lot of runs, and this artificial turf out here, they're tough.
All right, so Billy Martin likes the New York Yankees. He likes them in 4. Jim Palmer, you going to play devil's advocate?
Well, I think Kansas City has a great chance to possibly beat the Yankees. Like Billy said, the Yankees played far superior baseball in September. I talked to manager Fry of Kansas City. He just feels that their guys had nothing to look forward to. They had a 20-game lead, clinched the division early. He feels they can turn it on. But I think the one ingredient that the Yankees could really have difficulty in containing is the speed of the Kansas City Ball Club. They're really going to have to keep Willie Wilson off the bases and, whenever possible, pitch around George Brett, because here's a guy that can carry a team on his back. And the Royals have a chance, but they're going to have to play excellent baseball. They scored 12, 13, and 14 runs on 3 occasions and only hit 1 home run in those 3 ball games. So they can put a lot of runs on the board by not hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Yankees win 3 series in a row from the Royals, 76, 77, 78. Is there a jinx, or is that media hype?
I don't really know. I think the fact that the Yankees played better is the reason they won, but I do think that the 2 pivotal games are the ones here in Kansas City. I talked to George Brett. He feels it would really give them a lift to sweep here. They definitely have to win 1, and I'm not really sure either the Royals or their fans know that they can beat the Yankees.
Game 1 at hand. Guidry and Gura, 2 left-handers facing each other. We're set as the Yankees take on Kansas City from Royal Stadium. We'll be back right after this.
The question is why? The question is why?
81 Caprice Classic. You can spend more. The question is why? Why spend more for a smooth, quiet ride, plus room and luxury like this? Why pay more for V6 mileage estimates like these? Chevrolet Caprice Classic. You can spend more.
The question is why?
I told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance. Well, John, don't put marbles in the penny wrappers. He told us about one of Allstate's affordable life plans. For a 28-year-old, $50,000 of decreasing term insurance for about $11 a month. These pennies could pay for a couple of months. Well, John...
Well, you put your pennies in my marble jar.
Ask about Allstate Life's affordable life plans. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Day in, day out, you go through the same routine. Till one day, that routine turns into a rut. And then it's time to make a run for it. We're AMF. We make what it takes to make that run. We make Roadmaster bikes, Crestliner power boats, head skis and Tyrolia ski bindings. We take you out of your rut and clear to the mountaintop. AMF. We make weekends.
Here's your chance to get the official 1980 World Series souvenir program, the same one sold at the ballpark. It's a collector's item commemorating the 77th Fall Classic. Send check or money order for $3 to World Series Program, Box 1980, Norwood, New Jersey, 07648. It's filled with World Series glamour, history, and statistics. That's World Series Program, Box 1980, Norwood, New Jersey. Act now. Quantities are limited.
The preceding was brought to you by Major League Baseball.